Hello everyone, I am Nikhil Kumar. Welcome back to the day 4 of our GitHub Actions series. In the last video, we have set up a self-hosted runner, enabling us to run workflow on our infrastructure. If you haven't seen that video, check it out first. Today, we will build on that foundation and integrate Ansible Lint to automate the linting of Ansible playbooks directly in our workflows. As always, I will walk you through the process step by step. The first thing we need is the workflow file. So for that, we need to go inside the workflows directory. And inside that we need to create one file, that is Ansible Lint.yml. So first of all, we need to define the name of that particular workflow. So that I'm going to use a name keyword, and name is Ansible Lint checker for push and pull request. So we have named our workflow Ansible Lint checker for push and pull events. Then we need to use the on keyword. So to specify on which events it will be running, so I am going to define push as well as pull requests. So earlier we were using only the push event, but in this particular workflow I am going to use a pull request as well, because if someone creates a pull request, so at that time as well it will fetch the modified files and run the scan against those files. So I'm going to provide the branches, and I'm going with all the branches. So this ensures we can catch both individual commit and collaborated changes for the linting. Now we need to define the job that will run our Ansible Lint tools. So for that we have a keyword called jobs, and we are giving a name Ansible Lint, and it will be running on our self-hosted runner, that is our self-hosted. I'm going with the tag self-hosted here. So basically the runs on field specify that this job will run on our self-hosted runner. Self-hosted runner gives us more control and flexibility to install custom tools like Ansible Lint, just like we did in our previous demo. Now the first step of the job is to check out the code from the repository. So for that, we are going to define the steps, and I'm giving a name to this step, that is checkout code. So we are going to use a checkout action for this, that is uses actions checkout at v3, and we are going to specify the token, and it will be reading from the GitHub defined token, and then we need to specify the fetch depth is equal to 0. The fetch depth 0 ensures we fetch the full git history, which is crucial for defining changes. Next we need to get the list of files modified in our pull request. So for that, let me define another step, that is to get modified files for pull request, and for that I'm going to give a ID get changed files pull, and I'm adding a condition here, that is git dot event underscore name is equal to pull request, then only this particular step will be triggered. And now I'm going to specify the commands. So first of all, it will fetch the origin from the base branch. Then we need to determine the files added or modified in the pull request using the git diff. So for that, let me add a condition here, $GitHub dot event dot pull underscore request dot base dot share. Then we need to create one variable, that is changed files, which we will be getting from the git diff command. Git diff -diff -filter is equal to am, and we need to specify the name only here, and then we need to use the same string here as well to get those things, and then at the last GitHub .sha, and it should be variable, so using dollar here. Then I'm going to print the changed file, so I'm using the echo here, changed files here, so that if we want to see and debug these things, so we can go through the print statements here. Then I'm going to segregate the files, so changed files str and echo, and changed files variable, and going to separate it using the new line, and I'm going to add this thing into the GitHub environment variable. So let me create it, changed files string equal to dollar change files str to into the GitHub environment variable. Now I'm going to specify the else condition here. If there is no available files into it, or no commit available, so we can print no commit available, skipping linting step. So basically this steps only run for the pull request events. So we fetch the base branch and then determine the files added or modified in the pull request using the git diff. The results are stored in the environment variable, that is a changed file string, and we are also passing it to the GitHub environment variables. Now for the push event, we need to calculate the change file differently. So for that, let me define this get modified files from for push event. So there is some indentation issue, and then I need to give the ID to it as well. I'm giving ID get changed files, and then we need to specify the run keyword to specify the command which we need to perform. And here as well I'm going to add one if condition, get hub.event.before. So basically this step calculates the difference between the last commit using the GitHub event before. So it will try to check the last commit, curly braces close and square bracket, and then now we need to use the changed file variable again here, and then we need to specify the get diff command with the same options equal to am, and here as well I am going to specify the name only, and again we are going to specify the same thing, GitHub event before and GitHub.sha, and I'm going to print this thing. So let me copy paste the same thing here as well. Now I'm going to segregate this thing as well. So for that I'm going to use the same line here as well. There's a typo, files, changed files, and here I'm going to specify the else condition, if echo no commit available, skipping linting step. And so basically this step calculates the difference between the last commit using a get event before and the current commit using the get.sha. The results are saved in our change file string variable, just like we did in the pull request event as well. Now we need to segregate the YAML file from the changed file list. So for that, I'm going to define another step, that's to segregate YAML files. So I'm giving a ID to this one as well, segregate files, and then run statement. And here I'm going to create one variable, that is YAML files equal to empty string and ifs equal to, we are going to read a variable that is a changed files, and specifying the changed file string. This is closed. Now we are going to iterate over that variable for file and file, that is equal to changed files. In this string all the files, and do if $file is equal to YAML, ends with YAML basically, or YAML, then it will pick this file and store it into variable, that is YAML file, which we defined earlier, that is $YAML files and the file, and if condition closed and for loop closed. And similarly I'm going to print this thing, that is segregated YAML files, and the variable, that is YAML underscore files, and I'm also adding into the GitHub output, that is YAML files equal to YAML files, and redirecting it to the GitHub underscore output. So basically this step focuses on filtering files ending with .yml or .yaml from the changed file. The result is stored in the YAML files output for the later steps. Now our actual linting step should be implemented, because we got the YAML file till this step. Let me define this step, that is to run, that is to scan Ansible Playbooks. So let me add a run keyword here, and let me define the YAML files variable here too, and we are going to pick it from the last step, that is to steps dot segregate hyphen files. If you notice, we have used the ID, that is why we are using or giving the ID for each step. So using this ID we can pull the output of that particular file, and then dot outputs dot YAML hyphen files. Using this line we have stored it into the GitHub output, and using the YAML files variable. So let me close this one, and then if fun and dollar YAML files, then we will be running Ansible Lint at YAML files. Otherwise it will print no YAML or YAML files found, skipping Ansible Lint. Let me close the if condition. So if If YAML files are found, then only it will run the Ansible lint command to check the linting issues. If no files are found, then it simply skip the step. Finally, let's log a message if there is no YAML files are found. So for that, let me add another step. No file found. And I'm going to run this statement, that is, if this variable is empty, that is YAML underscore files, then it will just simply print the message, no YAML files found in the commit, and if condition closed. So basically this ensures we log the absence of the YAML file for better visibility. So let me commit this thing. Now let's test this workflow, and let me create one Ansible playbook, that is test-pv.yml, and I'm going to define one debug task here, task and debug, and giving a message that is testing workflow. As soon as I commit this thing, it will trigger one workflow. Let me refresh this, and we can see the workflow got triggered. And first of all, it will wait for the runner, get the file. Let's see, is it able to get the modified file? Yeah, it's able to fetch the modified file, and it's able to segregate it as well. Let's see what is the error message, and we can see the Ansible lint is not there because in last session we didn't install the Ansible lint on our runner machine. Let me install it. Now let's install the Ansible lint here. pip3 install Ansible lint. So Ansible lint got installed successfully. Let me check this, and it got installed. So let me go back and make the modification in our playbook. So I'm just adding GitHub action workflow, commit this changes, and let's see, does it work fine or not. So it able to pick the modified file, and it's running the Ansible lint against it. It got failed. Let's see. Now it's able to perform the Ansible lint scan against that particular file, that is test-pv.yml, which we just created. Let me go back and go to the GitHub action, and if the action got failed, it shows cross and failure symbol here, and if we click here, we can see this particular workflow got failed. And if we come here and can see the complete log of it. Along with that, it also sends an email to the developer that this is the job which got failed, this is for the pilot, and if we see, this is the one for the Ansible linter scan. So it also sends a notification to the developer who pushes the code if in case of failure, and it also add the symbol for the commit as well. Now let's create a PR. First of all, we need to create one branch. Let me create one branch, that is dev. And now let's push one change in this particular file from dev branch, and let's commit these changes, and let me create a pull request now from dev to master or main branch. Create pull request. I'm just creating a pull request. As soon as I create a pull request, it also performs a scan, and for that, let me go back here, and we can see this is for the pull request event. Earlier it for the commit changes, that is a last commit. Now this time it's running for the pull request event, and if you see here, it picks the file for the pull request event, that is the test-pv.yml, and we can see this particular Ansible lint scan also worked fine. It's able to perform the scan, And if we come back here, we can see these are the workflow which is associated with this particular pull request, and these are the ones which we created in this particular session, and these are the one which we created in our last, which is been provided by the GitHub itself. It's a pre-built one. And if you want to see some details of it, so we can just click on details and we can go back to the workflow itself. And that's it. We have automated linting for Ansible Playbook using GitHub Actions and our self-hosted runner. By catching linting issues early, this workflow saves time and effort while ensuring better code quality. In the next video, we will be leveling up by integrating PyLint and Bandit to automate security scanning for the Python code. We will detect the potential vulnerabilities and improve code quality in our CI pipelines. So stay tuned, like, share and subscribe for more content like this. Drop your question or suggestion in the comment section. I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day.